Hi there. I am author Hayley Barrett, and I'm here today on behalf of the Mariah Mitchell Association to read my picture book that's about Mariah Mitchell called What Miss Mitchell Saw. Here it is. The book was published in September by Simon & Schuster Beach Lane Books. I'd like to add that they have given me permission to do a full-length reading of the text and show you the illustrations here today. The book was illustrated by the very brilliant Diana Sudica, who is an illustrator that lives near Chicago. I hope you get to see it in person sometime because it sparkles just a little bit, and you really can't see that on the computer screen. But anyways, this is what Miss Mitchell saw, and I hope you enjoy it. On the first day of August, in a house tucked away on the fog-wrapped island of Nantucket, a baby girl was born. Like all babies, this baby was given a name. Her parents whispered it to her like a gentle breeze. Mariah. There's little Mariah, all wrapped in stars, and you can see how the illustrator wrote her name so that you know how to pronounce it. Mariah. At first, little Mariah knew only her mother and father, her older brother and sister, and the simple rooms of home. There's their house on Vestal Street, and you can see little Mariah and her sister and brother and her parents up on the rooftop. But as she grew, Mariah came to know her island. She rambled its gull-dappled dunes. She breathed the fragrance of its wild roses. She listened to the creak of whale ships come to harbor laden with heavy barrels and homesick boys. She knew the ships by name: the Anne, the Independence, the Washington. There's little Mariah, the seagulls and the roses. And there are the whaling ships. I love this illustration because if you look carefully at the water, to me, I think it looks like a whale. Mariah lived near town and often walked the long hill of Main Street, down to the crowded wharves and back up toward the grand brick edifice of the Pacific Bank. Along the way, she passed the bustle of many shops. She knew the shopkeepers by name: Polly Burnell, Betsy Carey, Eliza Riddell. So there's Mariah, walking down toward town, and you can see it looks much the same as it does today. And there are the shopkeepers: Polly Burnell, Betsy Carey, and Eliza Riddell. At home, Mariah was trusted with tasks large and small. Schoolwork did not always come easily, but she studied with determination. Mother took note of Mariah's steady ways. When her husband sought someone to assist him as he observed the night sky, Mother said to Mariah, "Thee is the one to help Father." So Mariah and her father climbed up the steep attic stairs to the walkway on their rooftop high above Nantucket town. Together, they gazed at the night sky that cupped their island like a vast black bowl. And there's Mariah and her father. I love how the illustrator has made it seem like the night sky has come to meet them. Father taught Mariah to use a telescope. He taught her to sweep the sky carefully, bit by bit, as thoroughly as she would sweep a room for Mother. He liked to say, "Thee must wonder, thee must watch closely, then will thee see and know for thyself." It's a beautiful double spread. It looks like, to me, like Mariah's father has tossed her into the night sky, and now she's made of stars. Mariah watched and she wondered. She saw for herself and was captivated. From then on, night after night, Mariah swept the sky. She made fast friends with stars. that shone as if punched into the black with a whalebone needle. She knew the stars by name: Spica, Rigel, Polaris. There's Mariah at her telescope. And you can see how the illustrator made it look like a needle is stitching through the sky with the names of the stars. She observed planets that glowed as steadily as whale oil lamps. She knew the planets by name: Saturn, Venus, Mercury. There's Mariah again. And there are the beautiful planets. She marveled at the celestial phenomena that arched overhead like a whale's sparkling splash. She knew the phenomena by name too: eclipse, aurora borealis, meteor. It's a beautiful double-page spread here. Can you see the whale? It looks like a whale is leaping through the sky, through the eclipse and the aurora borealis and the meteor. I think that's my favorite illustration. I love that one. Ship captains, home for a while from their whaling, relied on the Mitchells to help them navigate. They brought chronometers, costly timepieces made to withstand ocean voyages, to the little house on Vestal Street. By her father's side, Mariah learned to rate the chronometers. Using a sextant and careful calculation, she determined their accuracy so that sailors at sea might establish their position and, when their arduous work was at an end, set a course toward family and Nantucket Town. Mariah knew the whalers by name: the Folgers, the Starbucks, her own brother Andrew. There's Mariah and her dad, and she's learning to judge the accuracy of the chronometer, which is this right here. Special kind of a clock. And there are the whalers, the Folgers, the Starbucks, her own brother Andrew. So this was important work for a young girl to be trusted with. The whaling voyages were 3 to 5 years long, and it was critically important that the whalers be able to figure out where they were so that they could figure out their way home. That was important work, but Mariah was trusted with that work. All right, let's keep going. For a while, Mariah was a teacher, but she intended to advance her own education too, so she became a librarian. Her quiet hours at the Athenaeum were devoted to the study of advanced mathematics and celestial navigation. So there she is as a teacher. She ran a small school for girls for a little while, and there she's teaching them astronomy. And here she is as a librarian. You can see her reading and studying everything she needs to know to be an astronomer. And year after year, when day was done and darkness settled over Nantucket, Mariah climbed the steep stairs to her rooftop to sweep the sky. One clear October evening, Mariah saw something new. A nameless patch of light, bright and blurry, not far from familiar Polaris. A comet. There she is. A comet. She hurried to tell her father. "My Mariah," he exclaimed, "thee must tell the world." Does this illustration remind you of an illustration we saw earlier in the book? It's quite similar. But now Mariah is leading her father up to look at the sky. They're both astronomers now. The letter, bound for Boston, took 2 long days to leave stormy Nantucket. There's Nantucket. Here's the United States. Here's Cape Cod, Massachusetts. And it took a long time. Look at the storm with the whales and the waves. It's beautiful. But it took time for the letter to go where it needed to go. Half a world away, other stargazers scoured the skies. The King of Denmark had pledged a gold medal to any astronomer who discovered a new comet with a telescope. Finding one of these hurtling chunks of ice and gas was a rare feat, and many hoped to win gold and glory. In a grand observatory in Rome, an astronomer priest spotted the same bright bit of light. He immediately sent word to claim the medal. So there's the king. Frederick VI was the first person to have the idea to give gold medals to astronomers. And there's the astronomer priest of Rome in his grand observatory. Let's see what happens. But Maria had seen the comet first. The letter from Nantucket, dated 2 days before the priest sighting, slowly made its way across the ocean. It passed hand to hand from the astronomers of Harvard College to the astronomers of England to the astronomers of Denmark. Maria knew the Harvard astronomers by name. They were family friends, William and George Bond. She had not met the others, but knew them by name as well: Sir George Airy, the Astronomer Royal of Britain, and Professor Heinrich Schumacher of the Altona Observatory. So there's a picture of the Bonds. William and George Bond. The letter went to them first, and then from there it went to Europe. And there are the astronomers, William and George Bond again, and Sir George Airy and Professor Heinrich Schumacher, very famous astronomers of the day. While these men of science considered the dilemma of who ought to rightfully claim the medal, Maria swept the sky. While they scrutinized the letter from Nantucket, Maria swept the sky. While they consulted the astronomer priest of Rome, Maria swept the sky. I like here how the illustrator makes her telescope look almost like brooms that she uses to sweep the sky. She stayed busy about her work. At long last, they concurred and affirmed Miss Mitchell's discovery, and so the heavy gold medal made its way across the ocean to Boston, to Nantucket, and to Maria's steady hand. The King of Denmark sent it with his compliments. And there's Maria. And this red object that she's holding is the beautiful red leather box that holds the medal. The medal was inscribed with the name her parents gave her, the name known to shopkeepers, to sea captains, to sailors, and to school children: Maria Mitchell. And there's the artist's interpretation of the medal. And you can see once again she wrote Maria, so you know how to pronounce Miss Mitchell's first name. And it bore the motto, "Not in vain do we watch the setting and the rising of the stars." There's another double-page spread for the motto that was on the medal. Not in vain do we watch the setting and the rising of the stars. Miss Mitchell saw a comet. The world saw her. And there she is. And that's the end of what Miss Mitchell saw. I hope you enjoyed it. There is a lot of 2 pages of back matter in the book that talks all about Maria Mitchell's fascinating life. She was a college professor. She traveled the world. She did many, many interesting things. She led a great, great life. And I learned a lot about her during the research of this book, and I'm happy that I know more about her, and now I'm glad that you know more about her too. So thank you very much, everyone, for listening, and I hope everybody stays safe, and I hope, like Maria Mitchell, you take the opportunity of these quiet, secluded days to think about what you're interested in and to spend time learning all about it and teaching yourself what you need to know to do what it is that you want to do with your life. So thank you very much. Once again, I'm Hayley Barrett, here by invitation of the Maria Mitchell Association. Thank you so very much. Have a wonderful day. Bye.